All right, we will call the council meeting to order. Please rise for the prayer and pledge of allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everybody. We have a full agenda tonight, so we'll jump right in. We will start with item D, Scott Sands from the Auditor of State Office to present the City of Napoleon with the Auditor of State Award with distinction. Good evening, sir.
Mr. President, Mayor, Council, thanks for having me. It's nice to be here. It's Pat's opening act, so I'll keep this short. This is one of the things that I really enjoy doing. I'm your regional liaison for Auditor of State Keith Faber. I love recognizing the successes in local government. Just quickly, I think the Auditor of State's office audits 6,000 government entities, and 4,200 of those every year. Less than 4% receive the Auditor of State Award with distinction, and it's my honor to present it to Kevin here today. Thank you very much for having me, Kevin.
You want to come back here and
Sure. Can I give you my phone, too?
Yeah.
We'll all look at.
Mr. Mayor? You want to jump in?
Kevin did all the work.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Are we holding it right side up?
I hope so.
1, 2, 3, and 1, 2.
I've got one more.
One more. Promise, guys, we'll be done in just a second. All right, I told the little kids, nice smiles, your mother's gonna see this. 1, 2, 3.
Two grown strange men. I'll give it. Good work.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great work.
Scott, thank you again. We really appreciate you being here, and congratulations, Kevin and the team. Thank you for all the work that you guys do for the city and for our residents. So.
I appreciate Scott coming out and doing this for us. I can't say anything without recognizing the 5 ladies in my office that certainly does most of the work on the day-to-day basis, and they're the ones that really deserve this just as much as I do. So we're very happy to receive this and appreciate you coming on again, and thank you. But it's the teamwork of all 6 of us throughout the year that gets this done. So
And if
thank
we need
you.
more calendars, we'll still have plenty of control.
Yes.
All right, so we'll move on to item E, ODOT projects update from Mr. Pat McCauley. Little bio for Mr. McCauley. He has served as the District 2 Deputy Director for the Ohio Department of Transportation since April 2017. Prior to joining ODOT, he served as a city councilman for the city of Napoleon and is the Chief Deputy Engineer for Henry County. So, Mr. McCauley, welcome. Thank you for coming tonight.
Well, thank you very much, Council, Mayor, and other members and President of Council. As they said, it was about 9 years ago, and I had to resign from my council seat. I will tell you, it was one of my favorite jobs. And I hear, congratulations, Billy, going over to Spain, right?
Yeah.
I think that's news everybody can share.
Yeah, probably.
So, either that or just spoil it. Billy, I was on the personnel committee when we hired Billy and got to work with him at the county too, so that seems like a neat opportunity. And again, I apologize if I spoiled that. But no, thanks for being here. Joe asked me to speak. Kelsey's here with me as well. Kelsey Hoagland's our public information officer, so anytime you turn on the news, she's usually the one on there. I try to avoid that as much as possible, and she, it's probably a liability to give me a camera in front of me. But anyways, again, pleasure to be here. I didn't know what exactly to speak on, so I just kind of took one of our presentations, changed it, also talk about some projects regional to this area, but also high level, some things that's going on right now. So If you want me to hurry up, just start playing some music, and then I can do that. So a little bit about Ohio. We're 35th in area, 7th in population, so we are a very densely populated state. This is actually a new map, and I'll get to why at the next slide, but statewide, we take care of the state's largest man-made asset. And when you look at any department of the state of Ohio, there's no other department that has a greater direct daily impact on the citizens of Ohio than what the Ohio Department of Transportation does. We're the second largest agency by employees. Can anybody guess what the first is? I've never had anybody get this one, so if you want to take a guess, if I had candy, I'd throw it to somebody. So it's the Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. So most people guess DNR, they'll guess the Department of Public Safety, which would be the State Patrol. You know, you don't usually see the Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections or the prisons, like they're kind of tucked away for a reason, but they have the most people. So we have about 5,000 employees statewide. There's about 367 right now in District 2. Actually, it's going to go up. About a $200 million construction budget each year and $50 million operating budget. This is some big news. As of last week, we rolled this out, and I actually think this was a big surprise. We have not realigned our districts in 40 years. The last time this was done was Montgomery County. It was one county in the state of Ohio about 40 years ago. A governor was not very happy that some people in Dayton were mad that they were playing second fiddle to Cincinnati. So District 8 has Hamilton County, Cincinnati. Montgomery was in District 8. So they had a move, so that they went up to 7. But since then, it hasn't been done before. We're actually switching a total of 6 counties around. Defiance is now coming into District 2. Makes the most sense. As we all know, the 4-county area kind of associates together both government-wise, nonprofits, educationally. And we actually, our Williams and Henry County garage, we're closer with Defiance County than Defiance does with Paulding and Putnam. So there is definitely, there's some growing pains probably for Defiance. We are the most decentralized organization in the state too, so that's, each district operates a little differently, but that's okay. So that's some of the things that are getting added as we add Defiance County. It also helps balance the workload out. Cincinnati and District 8 and 6 are 2 of our highest districts in the state, which is Columbus and Cincinnati, as you would expect. We're 5th in lane miles, so again, small state, but a lot of density. But interstate lane miles, we're 5th in the nation. We're 2nd in structures. I think we're 3rd now. I think Illinois might have beat us. 6th in vehicle miles traveled. So that's the amount of vehicle miles that are traveled on our highway systems. 6 in tonnage with freight. That could be rail. That could be, obviously, we got CSX going through Henry County. It could be trucks. It could be planes. It could be a seaport like in Toledo, which Toledo has. It could go back and forth with Cleveland as far as who has the most tonnage and freight going through those 2 seaports. 3rd in route miles, and we have a number. Actually, if you look at a national map, this area right here has 2 of the main lines, going through it. You have the Norfolk Southern line in Fulton County. You have the CSX line going through Henry County, and you look at a whole national map. You got a lot of Class 1 rail lines running right through this area. Grant opportunities, and I know the city of Napoleon has taken advantage of many of these. Safe Routes to School. We have abbreviated safety apps. Chad knows more about this. I don't need to bore you a lot of this, but under 500K, we almost automatically fund those. TAP funds, that's how you guys paid for a big portion of your bike path here, I believe, right? Small cities, so there's only about 20 some odd cities in the whole state that are eligible for this. You gotta be outside a metropolitan planning organization area, which Napoleon is. And you gotta be under 25,000 population, over 5,000. So there's only, I think, 29 or 30 cities. So like Wauseon would be as well, and Bryan, now Defiance in District 2. Port Clinton was, but they're in an MPO now. Municipal bridge, urban paving, jobs and commerce, and I know you guys have accessed some of those. Actually, here's some of the grant money in the last 10 years that you've got received from ODOT. It's about $6.3 million. I know even before that, Chad, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you got the industrial drive. I know industrial drive was on there, and there's been some other grants even before that, Scott Street. So, Adopt a Highway groups. Lori, when she was a commissioner, we go every year and visit all our county commissioners. So we always like to give good props to our Adopt a Highway groups, and we do appreciate their efforts. We're required to notify a chip seal. Everybody's favorite thing that ODOT does is chip seal. When we put the stone on the road and people complain about it for weeks afterwards, but it's usually only a few weeks. We are now required to notify the county commissioners, which we were already doing, so it didn't really impact anything we were doing in District 2. Some other districts it did. So we got 2 in Henry County that will be chip sealing. Brine agreements, I wouldn't even typically share this. We actually have the most brine agreements out of any other district by a factor like 2 or 3. Napoleon is one of our largest brine users, so we charge about 6-7 cents a gallon. I know you can all read that, right? This is I'm your optometrist here. 13,800 gallons. So Bowling Green is our biggest user. We were thinking about cutting them off. Like, you might have to get your own system, but they're at 86,500. But it works out well. We got the systems. You know, it works well to share or sell to the municipalities versus them having to purchase their own systems. Construction projects, I just threw this one in. This is, as you've noticed, I-75 has been completely reconstructed and widened, and 475 is now too. So 75 has been 3 lanes each way. It's about $1.2 billion over the last 10, 15 years. When you look at 475, we just completed the 20A interchange of 475 from US 24 up to Airport Highway. The only 2 sections left to do, capacity add in all of District 2 really, is that east-west section. So it's green, right, Kelsey? Yeah. Okay, colorblind. So, so the green part on the top. So as you're going to like Franklin Park Mall, so kind of between ProMedica and then the 23 Systems interchange going north to Ann Arbor, that's the one section we're working on now. And then the other one is the Perrysburg section. So, and that has enough room. The other part, the one going through Toledo, it's tight. It's really tight. I mean, they put that interstate in, and they went right through the neighborhoods. That's just what they did. So it is a little tight in there, but we're not planning on taking any houses. I don't need to give my same spiel in Napoleon that I have to give there because there's some upset people up there. But I don't think any of you are going to talk to any of those folks. So new interchange, I think you're all aware, 17D. This is it really. We look at that as the main focal point, but it really is about all these other at-grade intersections too. Those will be closed off when we're done. The county engineer's office is purchasing right-of-way to connect 16 to P, and to really connect that in better, and even down to liters essentially. Big reason they need to do that, one of the big reasons, is because of that rail track there. If we would just close that off, that rail, it's gotten a lot better, but if it derailed, it would kind of strand some people north of there. So they bought that right away. That'll get worked on, and then we'll close off P and 16 and 17, and all of them in Henry County will be closed off. So E.S. Wagner's working on that. It's $13 million, goes through 2026, and then Banner School Road will also be closed. So this is actually from October. I'm sure you've all driven through this. It looks different now. And so it is about buttoning up this corridor. So the story was District 1 actually designed US 24 going up to the city of Napoleon. They left at-grade intersections. Well, where we had problems, where we had fatalities at the at-grade intersections. We had them at P, we've had them at 17D. Not as much the other intersections, but those two. When you go east of Napoleon, except for 11, and that had the whole rail issue there, but it was all limited access, interstate lookalike is what we call it. So it's 70 miles per hour, trying to prohibit people from crossing. The other thing about this, what's very interesting about US 24, as we all know, it's a heavy truck route, but there's actually more trucks at this 17D and 24, or 24. There's more trucks there than there is I-75 south of Lima. So I-75 is actually the highest, on average, the highest average mile of I-75 has more vehicle traffic and more truck traffic than any other interstate in the state of Ohio, the average mile. I'm obviously picking the lowest area of 75, but still, to have as much truck traffic here, or more truck traffic than I-75 is pretty incredible when you think about it. Independence Road, just threw this in. This is a District 1 project up until we take over District 1, so that'll be coming. But they're pretty much wrapped up there. They are wrapped up. It's a picture of that in October. This is the big one, right? That's impacting the city of Napoleon. This is actually our largest job that we are selling this fiscal year. We just sold it for $58 million. Yeah, $58 million. And what we're doing is reconstructing 24. So when ODOT came in and did 24, we worked west of here, we worked east of here. We didn't really work here. So this is, we've had a lot of blown out concrete pavement. It's old concrete pavement. It will be replaced with asphalt, which I'm not gonna give my opinion one way or another on asphalt or concrete because I do not want that in any newspaper. 'Cause, those two industries, they get at it, you know. So, anyways, so it's gonna be asphalt. We're also redecking a lot of those bridges. We're filling in the bridge there by the old Foster's Canning Planter in Walmart, then extending that bike path, that footpath. Actually, laser pointer's not gonna work on the TV, but extending that footpath up to 108. Which is great because, you know, for years, 108 didn't have pedestrian facilities except for the cow path that you could see as people walked there, and it was very, very dangerous. Now it does, and that was really kind of another. I don't know, that probably wasn't on there, was it? That was a city-led project, but we ended up ODOT letting the roundabout there.
I applied for funding, that staff took over design.
Yeah. So really, in all reality, that's actually a city project that we ODOT let. So I don't know if that was on that grant list. You can probably add that to the grant list. And, you know, Chad actually applying for that. So City of Napoleon, by and large, and I forgot to mention that, some cities, and I'm not gonna say which ones, some are better than others at applying for grants. And it's not easy because it's federal money. There's a lot of regulations and paperwork and all this other stuff that goes with it. But the City of Napoleon actually does a fairly good job out of all the cities. And we got about 30 cities in District 2 applying for grant money. So kudos to that. Traffic impacts, so as you can see here, that's gonna begin in April. So they just bid this out. It's E.S. Wagner and Vernon Nagel is the team that's gonna do it. So I think I saw in the paper that Scott buying some property by the, where that's filling in. I'm guessing they're gonna need a lot of dirt to fill in there, so I have a hard time believing there's not gonna be a pond there eventually, but, so anyways, yeah, so and E.S. Wagner's already working on 17D and that tissue plant in Defiance, so they're kinda out this way as well. So they were the successful bidders. Maintenance traffic set up for 60 days, bi-directional traffic in the eastbound lane through June. And again, they're still trying to work some of this out. I mean, they just won this and just were awarded it. I don't even know if they've actually been awarded it. They did award it already? Okay. I mean, it's pretty recent. And then the bridges, ramps, closures, TBD. You know, and having this one-way traffic, it is gonna potentially be disruptive. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not. If there is a crash or something like that, best thing you can do, and the patrol's really good about it. And I think by and large, most police departments are. So I know the police are here now. Just try to get that road open, and we call it quick clear, but sometimes there's one entity that's not as good with keeping the road open, remain nameless. But the problem is you start having secondary crashes, and we actually had one, you know, when you had that, what was it, like a hostage situation or something on 24. So if you don't open that up quickly, you know, you can start having secondary crashes or push stuff out on the system and have crashes. So yeah, so this is our new maintenance facility. It's going in. It's going to be hopefully we're going to start at the end of the year. We have an architect selected. It's the Bureau Group out of Maumee was the one selected. So we're going to be designing and then building a new Henry County maintenance facility just east of the Petro truck stop. Our plan is, and I think the commissioners want it, is to give our other facility, or sell it for $1 to the commissioners, our old facility. Now, there's no water, sewer, or natural gas, but that's won't be our problem anymore. But roundabouts, so you're seeing a lot of these pop up. You guys are familiar with them. If I go out to Williams County or Seneca a few years ago, it's a little bit more of a sales job, but there are fewer conflict points, what we call it, which is a place a crash could occur. There's more than a 90% reduction of fatalities, about 76% reduction in serious injuries, about 30% reduction in crashes, and it's better for pedestrians. The other thing is a lot of times they're just operate more efficiently than a traffic light or a stop sign. So they're very, very effective. We're seeing more and more of them. So that's good. Now there's some other benefits I won't read them all. Here's our results in District 2. So we're seeing a very similar results as what the federal statistics have. Again, I'm trying to test your vision here, but our most successful one, I think, is in Seneca County. So there was actually fatalities there. There hasn't even been a crash there since we put it in. But as you can see, injury, we kind of combine injury and fatals in this graph versus I gave you them separately on the previous slide. So good results. So 34 and County Road 24. So County Road 24 uses a bypass to the 80-90 to the Turnpike, as well as down to Dahmersville and 24. Actually, Steve Knipp was our bridge inspector at Henry County Engineer's Office. He used to live there at the southwest quadrant. There's a number of times he had vehicles that one of them ended up in the pond, and he actually had a fatality there too. So that's a pretty dangerous intersection, just with the skew and the kids at Ford County. So this is about a $3.4 million job, construction in 2027. The Village of Archibald's actually also we have that in here, right? Okay. The Village of Archibald's putting one as well on County Road 24 in Fulton County. So this is US 6 in 24. So another roundabout. So 24, County Road 24 is going to have 3 roundabouts all up and down. Now some people might be worried that US 6 has a lot of traffic. It does. Roundabouts can handle traffic very well. I mean, we've seen them, we put them in areas of higher traffic than that. So there's Fulton 20 at 109. So that's another one going in. Actually, so that one's in 20 in fiscal year 29. So this one's at 109. So it looks like construction in 27, 100% safety funding. And we're putting them in, they're about $3.5 to $4 million a piece. But when you look at, if you have a couple fatalities, we do look at return on investment, benefit cost ratio. There's actually a cost associated with a fatal. There's a cost associated with serious injuries. And then, that's the benefit you would save versus the cost of putting one in. That's how they look at those. So 108 and D, this has been a problem for a while. A lot of people use that to bypass Walsion. I know I certainly did when I was going to like Toledo Express Airport or up on Airport Highway. So that'll be going in. There's the Archibald one. Now this is the Village of Archibald's project. They've received money from ODOT. But that's right where that gas station is there on the northeast quadrant, if you're familiar with that area. Now they had a sales job. Dexter Kruger is the village engineer there, and their village council was not as receptive to the city of Napoleon council when the county put those in and you guys put it in on 108, but he got it through to the finish line, so that's good. Again, 109 and D. Okay. Statewide initiatives. So we have 2 statewide initiatives that's probably might be bigger in the Toledo area, but they've been pushing this 23 to 71 connector around Columbus, as well as an I-73. So some people think they're the same. They're kind of the same, but they're different. I-73 is a corridor coalition from South Carolina from Myrtle Beach all the way up to Michigan. The 23 to 71 connector study is specific, much more in depth than the 73 feasibility one, connecting 23 to 71 around Waldo. So that report is due, the interim report was already due, the final report would be due October 1st, 2026, and they'll have a final alignment. The General Assembly passed this in the transportation budget, both of these, and that's why we're doing that. So that's the I-73 corridor study. And then this is the conceptual alternatives for where 23 to 71 could be. They really narrowed it down to E2. Again, laser pointer's not gonna work, or E1. So they might go south of Waldo or north of Waldo. So Waldo is like, you can really, I'm really gonna test your vision here. But it's right where the bend is, and then northeast of that. So essentially that's their focus area they're looking to connect into 71. And they are looking at potentially tolling that. New technology, actually I can get my bag here. So fiberglass rebar, actually you are home to the state's largest fiberglass rebar deck in the entire state of Ohio. So fiberglass rebar is about a quarter of the weight of typical rebar. It doesn't corrode. The tensile strength's actually stronger. So this was actually the Anthony Wayne Trail going into Toledo. This is the first one ODOT did in the state, And as you can see how light that is, got those workers there. So that's something we've been putting in our decks. BAMTech, this is a cool one. So the first bridge in the world to utilize this technology is the 20A interchange at 475. BAMTech, if you're familiar with Foundation Steel or Danny D. Markowski up in Fulton County, he owns Foundation, one of the owners of Foundation Steel. What they do is essentially you put the AutoCAD drawings into this machine, and I'll show you the machine, and it spaces out the rebar at the correct spacing. And with that, they can just roll out the rebar on site. So they're using it for buildings. They've used it for buildings for a while. It's actually a European company that they bought this machine from. But this is the first bridge in the world, and 20A, and then rolling it out. So obviously they can do that in a factory setting. They can do it 24/7. They can do it when it's raining, snowing, whatever, and then have these rolls ready to go. That would have taken, what Kokosi told me at least, that would have taken 8 man-hours to do. What took a minute and 20 seconds or something like that. If we would have had this technology on the DeSalle Bridge, which was the bridge by the casino on I-75 over the Maumee River, that would have shaved off approximately 6 months of time. So that was about a $180 million job when we did that job. So that would saved off some significant time. They bought another machine. They're going to be using it for the Brent Spence Bridge, actually. Yeah.
Since corrosion doesn't occur with this, what is the estimated lengthening of time that you're expected? It should last longer, correct? Because you don't have the corrosion going on with the salts.
So so this is not the fiberglass rebar, but the
Okay.
fiberglass rebar, it kind of gets into one of these things like when you deal with concrete, it's usually, we use epoxy coated, but it's usually the steel fails first.
Yeah.
So what happens when the steel doesn't fail first? That is a question that, some folks are asking, people way smarter than me in engineering. But, that is, yeah, it could last significantly longer, there's no doubt about it. Now, we're only putting it in the deck, so we're not putting it, they're not being used in beams and other places, but yeah, I mean, it depends on the bridge where we decide to put it, and sometimes we have an alternate bed. State of Florida is using a lot of that fiberglass rebar, obviously salt water when you get close to the ocean. So yeah, this is a little different technology, but they haven't been able to figure out, and I'll show you why they can't do it with fiberglass here, but this is actually the machine, and this plant is in Archibald, Ohio. So they feed it in, they gotta feed the epoxy coat in. If they weren't doing epoxy coating like they were doing a spec building or something, you can see the different rebar. These are all different rebar sizes here, and it'll automatically cut it exactly what it's supposed to, and then it drops it down. This is just a sample one. It drops it down, and then it actually ties it together. So you can see that tying together. There's this ribbon here that it ties to. So the problem with epoxy coated, like it doesn't come in a spool, and Black Bar does. So when you look at the whole machine, there's spools of Black Bar. Okay, I always like to end my presentations with bad driver reels. I mean, although I don't think there's any sound. Do you guys have sound on this? Okay, that's all right. You'll just miss the iron workers later. So this is I-75. We had to close down I-75. When was this? About a year ago, wasn't it? March. So we had. So there was a roll-off dumpster, except he didn't have a dumpster on it, and he had his boom up, and he hit right.
Oh,
You can see the whole bridge shake, and then you see him trailering on the other side. Now, according to the police, he swore his boom was down when he left the yard. So I don't know if I believe that or not, but so that closed I-75 down for a weekend, and this was E.S. Wagner out there. And so that happened Friday night, and we had it open Sunday night. So they got in, they had to tear off tear off the deck and if you notice, actually, see how beams aren't supposed to look like this. I'm just, I don't need a professional engineer's license to tell you that. The funny part is, he actually came from this way.
Oh, wow.
So what happened when you look at it, the first beam, you can see some scratch marks basically from his boom. I think it must have pushed him down, and then he came back up and just smoked this beam. So yeah, that's what happened there. Almost cleared it. So if you had the sound on when that thing drops, so the iron workers start screaming, yeah. They got pretty excited there. So, then it was open. This is 475 at Monroe. So you'll see there's a vehicle smoking. I'm also doing some safety announcements here. If your vehicle's smoking on the interstate, do not jump and roll. Do not jump and roll. Bad idea. That guy could have got ran over really
Yeah.
easily.
Just let his car go.
And he kept leaving his car going. So, yeah.
My gosh.
Stop, drop, and roll. Do not stop, drop, and roll outside a moving vehicle on 475. It's not a good idea. Thankfully, I think he's fine.
Maybe put the vehicle in park.
Why do that?
He does run after it.
He does. We got a lot of interesting videos on the interstates. Okay, so here's another one, I-280.
Are all of your bad drivers in Toledo? Because I can attest to that.
I don't want to say what. I will say all our cameras are in Toledo too, so if you're so this vehicle, they're hauling another vehicle on top of them. So this is at Navarre Avenue, and right there.
Oh, yeah.
So what I always tell people when I give a presentation is don't look at the car that falls off. Imagine you're the driver behind it.
Yep.
And then you might have to check your pants after.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a final destination moment right there.
That would do it.
Okay, this is at the time, if the national news would have got this, this sure would have made national news. So this is at the Gore I-75 and I-280, 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning. I'm sure everybody was completely sober. They were not. But you'll see a vehicle coming right this way. Okay. So remember, this is we got the interstate. That's 280, right? It's ranked 280 underneath it. I call this the Blues Brothers slide.
Oh my. Oh my God.
Wow. Yep.
So if you count, it's about 4.5 seconds of airtime. So he goes up right now, lands it, he clears it. He cleared 280, ramped to 280, jumped over the whole damn thing. It's very impressive. So they were cited. I think were they drunk or high or something. They were all fine, actually. They had some injuries, a couple of went to the hospital, but it was minor injuries. But yeah, just cleared it. Rossford PD did a nice pit maneuver. Somebody was trying to go the wrong way down I-75 or trying to get on I-75 going the wrong way.
Oh.
I think they call that a pit maneuver, right? All right. Whenever there's a sheriff or a police in attendance, I say it and then I look at them like, I think that's what it's called. I don't want to misstate there. Otherwise, other people can check me on it. They just assume I don't want to talk about it. So the best part is, you got all these cops following you, and what do? The smart decision, you get out and run. That's what you did. That's exactly what he did. He didn't get far. So if you do something stupid on the interstate system, we might have a video. There you go. See, he's running, jumping over. A couple distracted driving crashes. This is actually not in District 2. This is heading into Columbus.
Oh no.
Yep.
Actually, everybody was fine after this one. This is one of them we were showing when we were trying to get the hands-free law passed. Here's another one. This is an ODOT vehicle on the side of the road. This is in District 4, which should be around the Akron area. I-77. You'll see a dump truck start to swerve off.
Yeah.
And actually, the ODOT worker was not in the vehicle, so that's good. He was working.
There's this traffic just keeps going.
And that's all I got. So if you got any questions, hopefully this is what you're looking for.
Yes,
If you got any
and some.
questions, I'd be happy
Great.
to answer.
How long do you say the project on 24? Do you anticipate that
It's gonna
taking?
be 2 construction seasons, so it's gonna be, it's gonna be disruptive. There's no doubt about it. And just like it is when we did I-75 or any of these other jobs, there's gonna be some disruptions, I'm sure.
We'll have a pre-construction meeting, that's likely gonna be in early March, where we'll be able to get everybody around the table, so I'll send the invitation to at least some folks from you guys so that you can join in, but as far as particular ramp closures and things, they haven't fully identified that schedule, so that would be good information to obtain at that pre-construction meeting.
And a lot of times in our construction meetings that we have in municipalities, we'll obviously invite Chad, the police, fire, whoever wants to come, it's up to them. Just so they're aware of what's going on. It also helps, we also recommend to like share anything on your Facebook page so we can get the message out if we're making changes or shifts. That's always helpful as well.
Was this anticipated when 24 was built, that it would be needing to be redone? This,
I mean, eventually everything needs to be redone. So that was built, I think in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 60s, 70s. So we're having the same issue with like 475. I mean, and 75. We've completely ripped out 75, 475, because you're not just like, people just think you're replacing what you're driving on. It's also the pipe below it. It's also the other infrastructure that's there. It's not just what's on the surface. So having said that, like it's getting replaced now. I mean, it was put in around, like I said, at the same time we put 75 in, 475 in. So I don't know, like, I'm sure they figured you'd have to do it eventually. But as far as like, I guess you're asking like, should they have done it 15 years ago? I don't know. I think part of it too was like, 24 was a lot of money. And I think that's what when District 1 looked at it, going west again, some of it was a money thing. Putting in all those overpasses and stuff like that. So I'm sure they would not have looked at that at the time. And it was bad, but it probably wasn't as bad as what it is today.
so when they redid 24, expanded it in what, 2010 or 11, something like that? That wasn't all like rebuilt completely? Okay.
It wasn't rebuilt at all. The bridges weren't redecked. It was not rebuilt.
Okay.
That part stayed, because everything was already there. So, same thing, I think, I don't know if Defiance is like that too. I mean, I'm trying to remember back, but yeah, Maumee was like that. You know, Maumee is somewhat similar. You know, you got to Fallen Timbers area, and that was already 4 lanes in that area as well. So yeah, if they didn't need to touch it, they weren't going to, and it probably took every bit of political capital amongst everything else to get 24 built at the time, so adding, you know, all that extra cost and everything, that's my guess. So I couldn't tell you, I wasn't there then, though.
I was. It was that's how it was.
Yeah, you were, you
That's
told
right.
us that ODOT at the time, so she could.
I sat through all those meetings.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's accurate, right?
It's
I'm
accurate.
just throwing that out there, right?
You're right.
You have better knowledge of that than I would, so. Any other questions?
Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you being here and sharing all the information. It's enlightening, for sure. So
Yeah,
we
well,
appreciate
thank you for allowing me to come back. It's been almost 9 years since I was here, and all the faces except for Joe's have changed and Willie's.
Right.
So, yeah, best of luck. And I will tell you, I've always missed being on city council. It's a hard job to do. It's a thankless job, as you guys all know. Yeah, it is rewarding, so, you know, keep doing what you're doing. So, thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Pat.
All right, we'll move to item F. Mr. Robert Bender, the CEO of the Provident Company,
to share plans on a housing project. Joy Ermy here with them. Thank you for being here tonight.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for having me. So President Durham and Mayor Bilaruki, please, again, and council, again, thank you for your time. How much time do I have? I don't want to go too long.
Floor is yours.
Okay, as long as you didn't say 2 minutes, but I don't plan on taking very long. So I want to give you a quick intro. Again, my name is Robert Bender. I'm the CEO of the Provident Companies. It's a conglomeration of multiple companies. We're owner, management agent, development company, construction, and have been since the late 60s. The owner and founder, his name is Bernard Swack. Bernie sends his regards. He's 95 years old. He said, "Go get him, kid," right before I got in here. So just want to let you know, he's been really the reason I'm here in the community. The Provident Companies is, again, we've been around since the late 60s. We have 84 affordable housing communities throughout the state of Ohio and only in the state of Ohio. It's about 3,000 apartments. Again, I've been kind of in the community for a little while, frankly, about 9 years. We've had the property Oakwood Village on Oakwood Avenue. I think it was 83 was built. Please don't quote me on that, but I was thinking that was the time frame. And Bernie built that. And anyways, that particular property has 32 units. It's 1 and 2 bedroom units. It has a tax credit layering to it, but it's originally a USDA RD 515 property. What's that mean? I know that's a lot of the crazy stuff that I was thinking about being on the school board when I was there, and it's like you learn all these new acronyms, and your first term you're just trying to figure out what the acronyms are, and then your second term you're like, hey, I'm trying to figure it out. But by the end of the second term you're thinking, I really don't want to do this anymore. So I applaud you guys for being here. But anyways, the RD 515 is a mortgage that's placed on the property. It's a 50-year mortgage with a 1% interest rate. I'm trying to dumb it down really low, but there's a lot more intricacies to it. So anyways, that makes the budget lower, but it also comes with rental assistance tied to that. So those particular apartments have rental assistance. And what's that mean? There are 27 apartments, I believe, there that have rental assistance, and that's kind of like your Section 8 type of rent. So if you make $1,000 or bring home $1,000 a month, your rent and utilities is roughly about $333. And it is subsidized. What I'm here to propose is not a subsidized property. It's a little different, so I wanted to kind of put your minds at ease about that, because I think that's kind of the first question to get. What kind of property is it? So first of all, income housing, it's a low-income housing tax credit program is the name of the program. And what it is tax credits are, it's a program that was designed in 1986 by President Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill. If you can imagine two of the most bipolar opposites, they come together on a program that we're still using today. It's a great bipartisan program. And what it does is the IRS distributes tax credits. It's a dollar-for-dollar tax credit exchange through state agencies known as HFAs. In Ohio, ours is called OFA, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency. And every 2 years, they put out a plan called the Qualified Allocation Plan. That plan designates how they're going to award those dollars or those credits. It's very competitive. We're competing in the 9% pool. I've been nosing around this community for about 9 years. About 5-6 years ago, I started getting real serious, but the community has never scored well in the state of Ohio competitively. So obviously, we're not spending the money to do that. It takes almost 6 figures to really put an application in. And if you know you're not going to win, why do that, right? So anyways, that being said, those tax credits are awarded. And once they're awarded, let's say the project's $10 million. I go to the state and I'm asking for $1 million in tax credits because they're awarded over 10 years. So you get those over 10 years, but I can't go to Lowe's and say, hey, I want to buy a stick of lumber with a tax credit. So basically investors, banks buy those tax credits. And that is where the for-profit and not-for-profit and both sides of the aisle were able to come together and say, we're going to create affordable housing, but it's also going to benefit businesses and corporations. So that being said, and also it's done through the Community Reinvestment Act. So banks are motivated to do it for that reason. So I asked for $1 million in credits, getting 10, go to the bank. Right now those credits are selling for about 78 cents on the dollar. Just so for your knowledge, let's say I'm going to round it to 80. So you get $8 million out of a $10 million development, and now I've got 80% of the equity, and I need to go borrow 20% of the debt. So it's a little different. You know, Mayor, if you and I were to go build a project together, we got to come up with 20% of cash and go borrow the other 80%. This flips it and it allows it to be a little bit, it makes it affordable. And for the next 30 years, we have to make it affordable. What does affordable mean in Henry County? So the area median income for a family of 4 in Henry County is $97,000 according to HUD. So a family of 4 can make up to $77,000 and live in this property. So we are not going after the lowest of the low, although we do have some units that will be geared towards lower income. So I will have, we're looking at 66 units in this particular property. 60% of those will be 3 and 4 bedroom units. That can be changed a little bit. We're still tweaking our final numbers. Our application is due the 26th of this month. So we're still working on final architecture, some market study information still coming in. But again, the numbers that I wanted to share, you know, so for example, a 1 bedroom can rent for as low as $450 a month, but most of those will be $820 or $900. So we're hitting a couple different demographics, or excuse me, income levels. And the 4 bedrooms will rent for up to $1,350. So a family, you know, your workforce has to have some sort of income to live in this property. It's not subsidized. No one's paying the rent for them, unless they bring a voucher with them. And just for your knowledge, in Henry County, there are 124 families on a voucher, and there are over 500 families on the waiting list. So there is dire need for housing and affordable housing. According to the health study that was done by the health department here, there's 412 affordable units needed right now. And so we're not even going to put in a quarter of those with this project. We're not. So that's need that is needed right now and addressed right now by the health department study, and that's why I'm here. Frankly, I came here really starting to nose and look at the site that we have, and I started to meet some of the nonprofit groups here, but the one person who is your community champion is Joy Army, who is the health commissioner. There is no one like her in the state of Ohio, and I can say that because I bounce around. She's the first health commissioner that's really gone to the state and said, we need help, we need housing. So the state knows. She's been banging the drum. She's talking about how wonderful Henry County is, and we just need help. And again, this year Henry County does not score well in the QAP, the Qualified Allocation Plan. So you're asking me, why am I here? I feel like this is the year to shoot the shot. This year they have something called the Community Strategic Impact Set Aside. So after all the projects are funded in the state, they're going to fund at least one project with money that's left over. They may do more, but just whatever's left over is what they're going to use. I don't know if we're ever going to score well in this community. Obviously, we own the land. We'd like to see something done with it. So I called Joy and I said, this is our year, I think, to try it. We're willing to make the investment and spend the money to do that, and we don't do that lightly. You don't stay in business, you know, taking really risky shots. This one's about as risky as I like to get, but so far we've gotten support from the Dana Corporation, from Campbell's, the county commissioners, Representative Jim Hoops and Senator McCauley have all supported the project. So I'm now coming to you asking for your support. And frankly, if you do not support it, this project will not get funded. So, you know, that's kind of a weighty thing to throw at you. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about the housing stats that were brought out by the study at the health department. 30% of the houses here were built before World War II. Only 10% of them have been built since 2000, and 70% of them were built prior to lead paint being banned. And I just want to say that quality, affordable housing promotes obviously job stability. We're getting some feedback that companies are looking for people to come and work. And people are looking for places to live. It increases your graduation rates because families don't have to move around. Again, we're going to have 3 and 4 bedroom units in this property. I was trying to do my own preliminary market study, like how much does a 4 bedroom rent for Napoleon? Can't find it. There's nothing on apartments.com, realtor.com. There's nothing. So right now, if things don't change, I'm proposing 14 4 bedrooms and 23 bedrooms. That's a lot. It's actually got my management team a little on edge because we don't have anything like that anywhere in the state of Ohio. But I think the need is here. Also, obviously, it's pointed out in the health study, and we believe it will increase the mental health of families. When I was on the school board at Riverside, which is a little small town called DeGraff, between DeGraff and Quincy, and when I was on the school board there, I remember I came into Mrs. Core's classroom, and There's a little girl, her desk was pushed right up to the teacher's desk. And being new to the school board, kind of was like, what's that all about? She said, well, she doesn't really get along well with the others. Frankly, we have to get her dressed in the morning because she comes into school smelling of urine. Her little sister, her older sister, who was that was second grade. Her older sister was in sixth grade. Watched her overnight because her mom worked third shift, and they had been bouncing around in the community because they couldn't find a place to live. And to me, that really broke my heart and made me realize why even small communities need to address housing in some way, shape, or form. I don't know of any specific situations here. I just know that that's what it is in housing. And frankly, why am I coming to you so late before the end of before the deadline? First of all, I walked into Lori's office, and I want to give her credit. She is the devil's advocate. She wanted to make sure I wasn't bringing anything harebrained here, and she asked me some very good questions and pointed questions. And one of those I wanted to answer. We have 32 apartments. There are 42 households waiting for housing at Oakwood Village. 18 of those are from Napoleon. I believe 6 are Defiance. Another number from Wasion, and then others were from towns I don't know. So maybe they are around here. I'm just not super familiar with the smaller towns. But there are more people waiting on that waiting list than we have units available. So just so you're aware of the situation there. And frankly, that's what I have. If we are fortunate enough to be awarded, we hope to start by the end of the year, but it's probably more likely we would start in the spring as we start looking at what's possible and what kind of funding we would use, what kind of lending we would need to use. The 9% tax credits is the only major funding hurdle that I have. There's I think we'll be using a USDA 538 loan, which is a 40-year amortization. Again, it comes with the same income restrictions, same time frame, so it would work along with the tax credits and those income limits that I just mentioned. Again, frankly, we kind of waited to the last minute to make sure we had a good project. Our market study felt comfortable. And again, the Provident Companies has been doing this for decades. We don't bring a project lightly, and we don't ask for support casually. I know this is something that this is your community that you care about. It's not lost on me. Frankly, I was super pleased when the meeting started. There wasn't even an announcement. You started to address the one who needs to be addressed anytime you have a meeting. And I come to you in that same spirit that I really want to do the right thing for the right reasons. And anyways, that being said, I just believe that Oakwood Village 2, which is the name of the property as we present it, represents a rare opportunity to stabilize working families, improve long-term health outcomes, and strengthen your community that depends on its workforce. This is a strong blue-collar community, and I want to honor that with our property and our project. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Bittner. Questions from council?
Mr. Bender, as far as if there is not approval for the 9%, do you see likelihood of this project moving forward?
Not in the near future, and I neglected to mention that our hope was by placing infrastructure in this site, because there will be some remaining acreage at the back end of this property along and also behind the current property that we have. We were planning on at least putting something conventional or market rate behind that because the infrastructure would be in place. You know, there's a 2-year QAP, so this is the first year of that. I'm trying to take a shot at the fact that we have the best property and the best community in the state of Ohio that's going to compete for that one spot. I don't know what that looks like in the second year. The second year tends to be more competitive because people understand how the field. If we weren't funded, we would probably try again next year. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. It just depends on who applies, what's not funded, and what I just can't really speak to that. Would we do anything else in the immediate future? Probably not, because again, it's the 80% equity versus the 20%. Do you see the difference in the financials there? And the other thing is obviously I know it's late in the game. I would like the council to take some sort of, maybe, I don't know if you can do something formally allowing the mayor to write a letter of recommendation or support, because I know it's too late for a resolution, but something of that nature would be greatly appreciated, and it is necessary for the application to go forward.
Thank you.
When do you have to have the application in?
It's due the 26th.
26th.
just share a little bit of background. I've had extensive talks with Joy and to Lori about the project. This was something that I'm certainly in favor of. I think it not only helps our residents here in Napoleon with housing, but it's water users, it's electric users, it's great for our schools, hopefully increasing graduation rate. I shared a personal story. My wife and I had our first daughter when we were 21, and we both worked, both low income, and we applied to live out in Oakwood. The wait was too long for us, so we had to move on to find something else, but I definitely recognize that there's a need there, so it's something that I'm hugely in favor of. Before I did any sort of letter of support, I thought it was important for Robert to come and share with council and get everyone's buy-in on it. Joe, I don't know if you have any thoughts on your stance, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I pretty much echo everything our council president is saying. We've had some discussions about it. I've done quite a bit of research myself, and I think this would be great for our community.
Mr. Bender, I have a question for you. I'm speaking for individuals with disabilities. Are any of these apartments made for a person that's in a wheelchair? Like countertops that are at their level, showers that are accessible for them?
Yeah, yeah, it's lost on me what percentage of units have to be accessible. That's our code word. But yes, there are going to be, if you look on that layout, there are 4 buildings. Those are all townhouse style. That'll all, and for the ones that have a bedroom, or excuse me, a bathroom on the first floor, those will all be visitable. So in other words, accessible for someone with mobility impairment. And then the back building is is basically all of those are flats. So there will not be an elevator in that building, but the first floor will have all of the accessible units there. They're all one floor, they're all one floor accessible units on in that building. So, that's one thing that in fair housing, that is the #1 complaint brought in fair housing is discrimination against disabilities. So obviously we're keenly aware of that, but I think, and I want to say it's 5% of your apartments have to be accessible and 2 have to have sight and hearing as well. I think we're going to be at 10% on accessibility. But yes, we will have accessible. And all of the walkways, everything will be accessible. They're 5-foot wide walkways. All of the trash, refuge, mail stations, laundry facilities, all of that will be completely accessible. And the playground will be accessible to the playground.
So I guess if this has broad support, I guess we would have maybe a motion to approve approval of the application, and then maybe a letter from the mayor with the signatures from council president as well, stating that they approve. Just so it's not the 2 of you doing it on your own.
Billy, to that point, since we haven't seen the application, I don't know if I feel comfortable approving an application that we haven't
I don't know
seen.
that we're approving, I think we're just approving the idea, or are we just support for the application? I don't know that, I've not seen one obviously, but I guess not that we're approving every single thing that's contained in the application, but the idea of the application.
That's the best way to put it. The application isn't complete, #1, and it goes on what's called an affordable housing finance application. So we're just finalizing those numbers. I'm obviously willing to share those, and they can also be requested by a FIA at the state as well. I mean, they're all public record. But again, this is just basically supporting 66 units, Oakwood Village 2, and you're right, it has nothing to do with approving what funding sources, because that kind of changes as the project goes. When we submit the application, it is really a pre-application. The architecture drawings aren't ready. They're not even 80%. So we still have to come through the city for permitting. We still have to go, we have to do everything in that regard to make sure the building is built to code.
Do you have anything, Lori?
I do not. I appreciate Mr. Bender's time, and we had a great conversation, and the wishes of the council will be done, and we can get the letter ready for you, Mayor, to sign tomorrow.
Anything else from council? Questions, comments, concerns? If not, I would entertain a motion to draft a letter of support for the project.
Second.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, that works.
All right, and please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Wow, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate your time and good luck.
No, I'm gonna need it, but
Good
thank you
luck.
very much, I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We will move to item G, the approval of minutes. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the minutes shall stand approved from the February 2nd, 2026 regular council meeting. I'm hearing none, those will stand approved. Item H is citizen communication. If anyone is in attendance tonight that would like to address council for any matter outside of the agenda topics. now
Kelly
please.
Burkhart, just thank you guys very, very much. Appreciate this.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item I, reports from council committees. I-1, the Electric Committee did not meet on February 9th, 2026 due to lack of agenda items. I-2, the Water, Sewer, Refuse, Recycling, and Litter Committee, along with the Board of Public Affairs and the Water Rate Review Commission, met on February 9th, 2026 at 6 p.m. And Dr. Dave, I'll kick it to you on that topic.
Since I wasn't at that meeting for the entire, it might be better off with you.
We just discussed the water and sewer rates there. Item I-3, the Municipal Properties, Building, Land Use, and Economic Development Committee met on February 9th, 2026 at 6:30. And Meredith.
We recommend to council to give $10,000 to the Community Improvement Corporation, the CIC, the contribution.
Thank you, Meredith. And item I-4, the Parks and Recreation Committee did not meet earlier tonight due to lack of agenda items. That will bring us to item K, introduction of new ordinances and resolutions. There are none this evening. Item I, second reading of ordinances and resolutions. I-1 is ordinance number 003-26, an ordinance adding section 925.89 and amending section 925.99 of the City of Napoleon, Ohio codified ordinances as they relate to the rules for disposal at the city's yard waste collection site and declaring an emergency. Do you have a motion? Thank you. Brittany.
Second.
Thank you, Meredith. Lori.
Thank you, Council President. This is these are the proposed changes to the ordinance ruling our yard waste site and changes that are meant to clean up language. We have Chad Luffs here, if he wanted to ask questions or if you have anything to add. There's been quite a bit of discussion around this already.
Thank you, Lori. Chad, anything to add?
No, just, as the city manager mentioned, clean up a few items specifically as staff's concerned, as potential liability issues that we'd like to avoid through prohibiting the use of outside equipment and some other items that just for housekeeping.
Thank you, Chad. Any questions from council? I'm hearing none. Ann, please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
All right, that will move to third read. I think I said item I earlier, it's item L. L2, resolution number 060A25. Was that a typo potentially?
No, that's, so this is an amended piece of legislation.
Okay, all right, thank you. This is a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute any and all documents necessary to sell approximately 0.876 acres of land, more or less, a portion of parcel number -129-332.0040, located within and owned by the city of Napoleon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Lori?
Thank you, Council President. This is the property just west of the Fred Gherkin Company. This was former railroad property. I wasn't at the last meeting, but in that time, after further review, it was determined that this would be better a land transfer, cleaner, cheaper transaction for the city. And so that meant with the amendment, it would go back to the second read for your consideration.
Thank you, Lori. Any need for suspension here, or we're not in a rush?
There's not a hurry. It could go to 3 reads, would be fine.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, and please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
All right, that will move to third read. Item M, third reading of ordinances and resolutions. M1 is ordinance number 001-26, an ordinance authorizing a pay increase for the city of Napoleon, Ohio Law Director and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. As explained last meeting, every year we do annual reviews on our appointed authorities. This year, due to Billy's outstanding performance in 2025, we are suggesting a pay increase of 3.5%. This is just the final read for that ordinance. This will be retro dated back to January 1st.
It will be retro dated back to December 22nd, which is the first pay period of the first pay in January.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate that clarification. Any other questions or comments? All right, so I'm hearing none, and please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
No.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes. Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Okay, that will pass on third read. Item M2, ordinance number 002-26, an ordinance authorizing a pay increase for the city of Napoleon, Ohio, finance director, and declaring an emergency.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Same thing here. After doing the annual review for Kevin, his outstanding performance in 2025, we decided to offer a pay increase of 3.5%, dating back to that December 26th date. 22nd date. So this is the third read for that. Are there any questions or comments? I'm hearing none. Ann, please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
All right, that will also pass on third read. Item N, good of the city. N1, discussion or action, approval of the power supply cost adjustment factor for February 2026 as PSCA 3-month average factor 0.01979 and JV2 0.064354. Lori.
Thank you, Council President. This is to approve our rolling average of our power supply costs. We see a slight uptick this time around, but still well within what we typically pay, so.
Thank you, Lori. Are there any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. And please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
All right, that has been approved. Item N2, discussion or action. Municipal Properties Committee recommendation to give an additional $10,000 to the Community Improvement Corporation. Lori.
Thank you, Council President. Again, this is the result of the last municipal properties meeting. This was a topic that was brought up at around budget time last year in November. Councilman McBride had suggested that the city may want to contribute more to the CIC's budget to help with some downtown development specifically. So this would be the first step. Kevin can help me with this too. This would be creating a fund specifically to put the money for the CIC.
We can either create a fund and hold the funds ourselves, or depending on the verbiage that I see here, we will do what council wishes. And then, I think we'd probably have to have a resolution or ordinance to do
Yeah, I mean, I
additional.
guess it depends on where we're at with, if this is budgeted or various other questions. So I'm not certain where the money's coming from.
Thank you, guys. I don't believe this was a budgeted item. I think the intent is for the city to hold those funds.
Correct.
And there be an application process through the CIC, and the CIC potentially present applications to the city. That is my understanding of it.
If that's the intent of council, then I think then we would still need to have some sort of ordinance to create said fund, possibly, in what, not sure if we need to have specific guidelines or just create the program, and then the program have its own guidelines.
I mean, yeah, I'm not certain. So if it's, I mean, we pay the CIC currently. If we were going to move funds to that fund now, that would be a pretty simple piece of legislation. If we're creating an entire new program, that's going to need some more information, I guess. So I guess I would need to know,
I mean,
what route we're going with this.
So we already have the Economic Development Fund.
Yeah.
And right now, we only put in 45, or this year 47,000, because they bill us quarterly. We could use that same fund, that would not be a problem, and then just quote-unquote house $10,000 in there and keep that in there annually for a max amount.
That might be a cleaner way to do it. It might make sense to do that, and then I guess flesh out exactly how you want to run the program for funding.
Meredith can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the intent of the committee was to dedicate the funds and then come back to committee and come up with the plan.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
Just-
that might be the way to do it.
So if it's a matter of dedicating the funds, I would believe it'd be as simple as a first quarter budget adjustment.
Yeah, I think so.
Of where we want to take the funds from, probably the 100 or the 400 fund, and then we would be able to put that in there as a placeholder.
Yeah, so without any further information, I would suggest that that be the route.
Okay. With this particular topic tonight, were we just looking for approval from council to proceed down this path?
Yes.
And if you do proceed down this path, then, again, correct me, then I would put this on a first quarter budget adjustment to get the funds moved.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Any other feedback or comments?
Are we going to come up with maybe a committee including, Jennifer Arps and either maybe one person from council, maybe Lori or somebody else from the city, and come up with the requirements to be able to receive these funds? Or are we leaving it totally up to the CIC to decide?
Yeah, I think we decided that it would be, we would have a say in how they get awarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong, the idea would be is we would create the guidelines that the CIC would
Kind of fit.
advertise it or reach out, and then, but the council or the committee would have the final say.
Yes.
Correct.
So, okay. Don't want to put words in anyone's
No,
mouth,
that's
but
okay.
that's sort of how I see it.
I would say council has final say. I mean, committee can make recommendation to council and council vote on it.
That's always the case, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Council
Yeah.
always has, certainly with money.
Yes.
My thought would be stay with municipal properties, but
Yeah.
Yep, took the words right out of my mouth.
Okay.
So to recap, we are only looking for a motion to set aside the funds, and we'll flesh out the rest of the program later. Am I understanding that correctly? Perfect, just want to make sure.
Anything else?
What is the fund again used for?
Promoting economic development in the form of grant funding, whether it's small business to update facade or exterior of a building. We did really iron all of that out. It's just a kind of a,
Maybe if someone wants to kind of start a new small business in town, they could apply for this grant as well. And like, it wouldn't be a ton of money, but it would be something that could help them in that process.
good question.
I think we have a great idea, I just think that there needs to be more brainstorming, right?
Yeah, right.
So
Correct.
for
Yes.
something that could be like it could be matching funds, I don't
Right.
think that's, the little
Right.
details have been
Right,
ironed
no,
out
no,
yet.
it is not.
No,
So,
we would love input, for sure.
Do we have a motion from council to approve this initiative?
Motion.
Second?
And please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
All right. Item N3, discussion or action, award of the North Perry Street and Railroad Street improvement projects. Lori?
Thank you, Council President. In your packet, you have a memo from our Public Works Director, Chad Lofts. We opened bids for the North Perry Street and Railroad project on February 11th, and these are the bidders, as you can see. And Chad would probably do a much better job of explaining the project, and then we will be asking for you to award the project.
As the city manager mentioned, we opened bids last week. Our estimate on the project is $850,000. This project is primarily focused on replacing the water lines on North Perry from roughly Oakwood Avenue up to the railroad, and then down Railroad Street from Scott Street to Oakwood. We will be doing some sanitary sewer replacement and a small amount of storm sewer extension, and then when we're done, we'll repave both streets. The engineer's estimate was $850,000. The lowest and best bid received was from Hohenbrink Excavating LLC. $747,091.72. We reviewed all the bids, did not find any errors, don't have any issues with Hohenbrink that would cause us concern. So it is my recommendation that council award this project to Hohenbrink Excavating in the amount of $747,091.72.
Thank you, Chad.
And this is the water line that broke Friday.
Any questions or comments from council? Can we have a motion to award the project?
Motion. Second?
Thank you. And please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
All right. That has been awarded. That will bring us to the end of Good of the City. We will go around the table. Mr. Mayor, I'll start with you this evening.
All right, thank you, Council President. Just have one thing. Billy, on behalf of the city of Napoleon, I want to thank you for your 9 years of dedicated service as our law director. It was my first year on city council, which is the same year that you were hired. The first appointment that I had privilege of being a part of. And I have had a front row seat to see the professionalism, integrity, steady guidance that you have provided ever since. During your tenure, You've been a constant through an extraordinary amount of change. You've worked alongside 4 city managers, 4 finance directors, 3 police chiefs, 2 fire chiefs, 2 mayors, 4 council presidents, and somewhere between 15 and 20 council members. Through all of those transitions, your professionalism, institutional knowledge, and steady hand helped ensure continuity and stability for our city. You have consistently represented Napoleon with distinction. You have protected the interest of our residents, supported council members, advised myself in all of my roles here at the city, and served every city employee with fairness and respect. Your council has helped us navigate difficult decisions, complex issues, and moments of uncertainty with confidence. Billy, you will be missed for more than your legal advice. You have been a trusted partner, a steady voice, and a true public servant who cares deeply about this community. Thank you for your commitment, your professionalism, and your years of service for the city of Napoleon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
Well said.
Thanks.
Dr. Dave?
Just thank you for serving, Billy.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Tom?
Same. Thank you very much, Billy. Thank you.
Barry?
Thanks, Billy.
Billy?
I'm going to interrupt everything and ask for an executive session to consider the appointment or employment of a public employee or official. And thank you for your kind words.
Thank you. Lori?
Thank you, Billy. And we'll have more to say, hopefully in the next week or so before your departure. But I do have a need to request a special Safety and Human Resources meeting. As you know, the 5 of us will be out next week for the APPA legislative rally in Washington, D.C. So Safety and Human Resources will go on as usual. Chief Bowen will have the show that night, but I do have a need for some reevaluation of an electric department position that needs to be hired. So at that meeting, we'd like to talk about titles and wage adjustments. And I talked with Jordan a little bit previously. I'm open to whenever you are able to do this, but it shouldn't be more than 30 minutes, I would say.
March 2nd, 6:15 PM, starting before council.
And you got that?
Yes.
Perfect. Lori, anything else?
No, that's all I have. Thank you.
Kevin?
I've got nothing, thank you.
Victor?
Nothing, right?
Jordan?
Mayor took all the good parts, so I'll say thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
Brittany?
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
Being the last one, I mean, it's hard to echo everybody, but the guidance that you've given me personally over the last 2 years, I've been incredibly thankful for, and wish you all the best in life and in the next phase of your career, so.
Thank you.
With that said, can we have a motion to go into executive session for the employment or appointment of an appointed authority?
Motion?
Second.
And please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
All right, we shall return. And you good? All right, can we have a motion to come out of executive session for the employment of appointed authority, please?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you, and please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Okay, no action taken. Could we have a motion to appoint Tony Johnson as the acting law director effective February 25th, please?
Motion.
Second. Third.
And please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Item P is approved payment of bills and financial reports. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the payment of bills and financial reports shall stand approved.
No, no.
I'm hearing none, they stand approved. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion? Second.
And please call the roll.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Victor?
Yes.
Meredith?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.